LSE is dedicated to training students whose future careers will affect the lives of billions of people across the planet.
Rachel Alice Lake.
LSE is one of the world's most renowned and respected universities.
Congratulations, well done.
LSE degrees open important doors.
The school is doing something quite distinctive in creating a group of people who are going to be running governments, corporations, NGOs and charities all around the world and governing them with a good and sympathetic view of the way to solve the world's problems.
I've worked in 4 different universities, and LSE students are very, very, very career focused, and they work very hard at their career choice just as they work very hard at their academic work.
People have been coming here for decades and then returning to their home countries and in many cases becoming heads of government.
Being thrown into this melting pot of cultures, ideas, concepts, it's something that stayed with me for the whole of my life.
LSE has a long tradition of academic excellence and an unrivaled reputation for cutting-edge research that continues to influence international policy at the highest levels.
You can't really spend more than a day at the LSE without feeling that LSE is engaged and LSE is relevant.
LSE teaching is amongst the best in the world.
There's a lot of people at the school who are really very enthusiastic about teaching, really interested in exploring new ways to communicate more effectively, interested in thinking about what's really important about how students learn, how we can connect with that to make sure they get the most out of a particular course and the most out of their degree.
LSE academics are world leaders in their fields.
We have this combination of people who are at the frontier in terms of research and really very excited about new ideas that are emerging. So there's a kind of vibrancy in the teaching, I think, which is very different from the teaching that comes out of a textbook.
Researchers that are attracted to the facilities at LSE and the facilities of London come to teach here because this is the place they want to carry on their research, and also they want to engage with the brightest and the best.
You come to LSE to learn, and you will learn better from people who are involved in research and enthusiastic and committed to their subjects.
You're going to be taught by people who are at the cutting edge of their academic discipline.
We don't just teach the students to become either a copy of the textbooks or a copy of your lecturer, the individual that teaches you. We teach the students to become independent thinkers, and that's very, very important.
We're training leaders who, instead of just sort of adopting the latest technique, they'll actually be able to critically assess those techniques for themselves and follow in the LSE tradition of being intellectual leaders.
Part of the vision, the founding vision of the school, was very much that the school would be engaged in policy issues and make a difference. And I think we attract a lot of students who want to make a difference.
And make a difference, they certainly do. Many of today's LSE students will become the leaders and thinkers of tomorrow. LSE prides itself on helping its students to find the very best jobs.
An external survey last year found that not only were we the busiest career service, but also very pleasingly, LSE students gave the career service at LSE the highest satisfaction rating of all university career services.
And that's vital in an increasingly competitive job market.
Employers who are seeing their graduate recruitment budgets slashed, rather than go to every university in Europe, are targeting only a small number of universities where they know they're going to get a very high quality graduate. And employers know that's what they're going to get from LSE.
Being at the centre of the global economy makes LSE particularly important to major employers.
I was an intern during the spring term at the U.S. Embassy in London. I was in the office of the ambassador.
I ended up landing an internship at HSBC in Canary Wharf. The reason I got my internship is because of the LSE. Like, having the LSE on my CV was a huge, huge plus.
LSE is situated right in the heart of London, midway between the UK seat of government and one of the world's most important financial centres.
People are passing through London every day of the week. When the G20 met in London, the president of Indonesia dropped by and gave a speech at the LSE because he was here in London. So the advantage of the LSE's position in one of the world's major capitals and major centres for business and finance is enormous.
LSE students are exposed to some of the world's most important leaders and thinkers on an almost daily basis.
Thanks to all for coming.
The school's motto is to know the causes of things, and to know the causes of things, then they have to be explained, debated, discussed. We organise the highest profile public lectures, whether it's Prime Ministers, Presidents, Foreign Ministers, Finance Ministers. We're up to something in the region of probably towards 80 or 90 a term.
The LSE is in some ways better than any place in the world, because in New York, although there are some great universities there, they're not the greatest universities. If you give a speech at Oxford or Cambridge, or for that matter Princeton, you're not in the middle of things. Here you're right at the core of a lot of activity, overlapping policy, business, academics.
I've been to so many talks this year with Soros and a lot of really high-profile people, and it's amazing to have access to ask them questions.
We had George Soros, Ben Bernanke, president of Poland, which took over after the plane crash.
Ed Miliband, David Cameron, Amartya Sen.
There's a lot of people that come here to speak that really have interesting perspectives and interesting things to say that you wouldn't really get to hear them say anywhere else.
What attracts these amazing people is the fact that many of them actually were past students.
LSE students find themselves in one of the most multicultural environments in the world. With a student body made up from more than 140 nationalities, LSE embraces almost as many countries as are represented at the United Nations.
In my program alone, there are 50 students, of which maybe 30 different nationalities are represented. And imagine how many different languages there are, all these different values and cultural experiences.
All of them are very bright students, and it's very interesting to learn from.
Makes all of the classes really interesting. The discussions are just so fascinating, and I'm learning from them as well as them learning from me.
You become a civilian of the world, and this is the amazing part of LSE.
Living in central London means being at the heart of one of the most vibrant cities in the world. LSE has halls of residence across the city. High Holborn is just 5 minutes walk from campus.
The proximity to LSE, as well as to places like Oxford Street, Tottenham Court Road, a fantastic place to live, especially for someone that has never lived in London before. I mean, I've loved my room. Each flat has about 4 or 5 rooms in it, and you each share another bathroom, a shower room, and a kitchen.
All of the rooms come equipped with broadband internet access, and there's a common room where students can relax and get away from work. On the other side of the River Thames is Bankside House.
Its location is great. I always have a really nice walk to school. I'm especially happy with my room because I've got a lot of space, and whenever I want to socialize with my friends, I can arrange something very quickly.
It's a very social hall, a lot of events that they put on. And it's a great walk to campus every day. You walk across Millennium Bridge, you walk along the embankment or down Fleet Street. You're pretty much walking across the river every day, and that was really nice.
And to cap it all, if you need financial support, LSE is there to help.
We give out at least £12 million per year to students in grants and scholarships, and these are non-repayable.
For advice on applying to LSE, watch the guidance video that's appropriate to your entry level. You too could soon be joining the thousands of world leaders, Nobel Prize winners, and captains of finance, commerce, industry, and charities who are proud to have begun their careers at LSE.
It makes me proud to teach at the LSE. It makes me proud to see all the students doing well with their life and trying to change lives of other people, and that's very important, and that's why I'm passionate about it. You take with yourself what you have learned at the LSE and what experiences you have benefited at the LSE. This will follow you in life for good.